want to break down 6 reasons why you are not seeing fitness results. These are certain things that I know I've got really stuck on even years into my fitness journey, and I also know with clients these are some sort of problem areas, so I thought we could break each one down. I have got you covered if you feel like you've just got some sticky habits that are just no longer serving you, or you feel like you've not been seeing results with your physique or results in how you feel for a good while now, and you're actioning all the steps, you're quite consistent with your fitness routine, but you just feel like you've hit a plateau. We're going to jump straight into it. If you could hit the like button on this video, just really helps and supports my channel. Okay, first one is letting your ego get in the way. This might be something that you don't even consider or you've not thought of before, so might sound a bit uncomfortable, but just stay with me here. You could be someone who has regularly gone to the gym. You could even be a qualified PT yourself, or you know the basics when it comes to the gym and what to do, how to kind of like structure a workout-ish, but you've been at a plateau for a good while and you don't really want to ask for help or go to another PT to have a few sessions or get yourself a structured program, and you're in this kind of weird funky space where you just end up staying the same. You think about, oh, I should probably change this, but you never end up doing it. We have always got room to learn, even as a if you're top coach, fitness coach or athlete, you always want to be learning more. You always want to be going to someone, being the smallest fish in a room and being able to learn from a bigger fish. Oh my God, I'm starting with the analogies. It's just so easy to stay and like put yourself in one box with your current knowledge and then spend years not letting yourself grow, not just asking the question or asking someone who you admire, who is maybe in a different field of training. Maybe they're a hybrid athlete and your style has been kind of bodybuilding for the past few years and you want to try do a mixture, or if you want to start running more, like getting a running coach, making sure your sense of self isn't stopping you from growing. And I always think every coach should also have a coach, just to keep yourself accountable, in check and in a space where you can continue to learn. It could even be that you have the knowledge but you're just not applying it. So you could try out training with a friend, someone who trains hard and it lifts a similar amount to you. Just reaching out and saying, should we train together like once a week, and pushing yourself to get that PR. Because I know, say if you're in a quiet gym or you go at a time when there's no one really to spot you, you're not really going to push yourself to increase your weight and you'll most likely just be stuck at a bit of a plateau. The other one could be getting a structured program from someone else. I also think if you were to check in with someone else, the value you would get from that, because you're being accountable to someone else. It's similar to my last video when I talked about when we schedule in an appointment to get your hair done or your nails or whatever, you're not going to be late to that appointment. Whereas if it's a gym session with yourself, you kind of like, oh, I can squeeze this in before, you end up being half an hour behind the time that you said you would be at the gym. Whereas if you've just got that accountability, you've got some skin in the game and you're most likely going to stick to that thing. Number 2 is you're getting sloppy. Say if you go through phases of tracking your macros and then you start eyeballing, and the eyeballing is just turned into, I don't know, like 50 grams of peanut butter instead of your usual 10 grams of peanut butter on your corn cake, or I don't know why I use that as an analogy, but you're just gradually increasing your intake, or you're under eating and not fueling your body properly, so you're not seeing the gains that you want to make, or you're not losing fat how you want to. If you are trying to lose fat and you're saying, I am in a calorie deficit, if you're gaining weight, you're definitely not in that calorie deficit. And just coming to terms with that rather than sort of fighting yourself, when obviously you know if you're managing to put on fat, you are not in a calorie deficit. So just addressing that. Sometimes I know that can be hard to swallow because I've been there myself, and that's why I personally find tracking so useful. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but one of the most beneficial things I've ever done is to go through stages of tracking my macros, so it's not all the time, but just to have an idea of what actually is in what you're eating. There's also intuitive ways of eating which can be more sort of on your fullness cues and working on just understanding your hunger cues a bit better. Another area that it's easy to get sloppy is in your sessions on your own, so you can start kind of half-arsing reps or just ending up on your phone scrolling and not really enjoying your sessions and just losing that focus. So if you're at that point, just go back to the basics, as in like, right, what am I trying to achieve? How would I feel if in 6 months' time, say, I can't do this pull-up that I've set as a goal, and addressing, right, I spent a year, say last year, trying to be able to do a pull-up or trying to get my back squats way up with your pull-ups, like what wasn't working before or what hasn't been working. Look at that and think, right, what's the point me repeating that? Like, nothing changes if nothing changes. And just reflect and think, right, I've set this goal. At the end of this month, I've been trying to, say, twice a week do a pull-up. At the end of that month, look at, right, has this worked? Am I getting closer? Am I feeling like I'm getting one more rep closer? And just making that time to reflect and see, right, if the answer is yes, then great. How can I add more the following month? Or if it's no, look at, right, can I add a different style? So try some negatives and increase my lat pull down strength. Can I do some holds? Just looking at it from a different angle. And then the other sloppiness can be slide into old habits. That could be staying up late with your phone, scrolling on a night, and then that has a knock-on effect. You feel like you're tired in the morning, so you're gonna snooze your alarm, miss the gym. So just clearing everything up and thinking, right, what habits serve me best and how can I put myself in the best position to be not super tired at 6:30 or 7 a.m. Number 3 is underestimating how long it takes. This is something we can all do because building muscle takes time. I feel like my glute growth has taken me like 4 or 5 years, and I'm not someone who naturally has any bottom. It was a long ass day when I first started training my legs for a long while as well, like a good few years, and it's been a real gradual thing. I just don't feel like I genetically store loads of fat, although as I'm getting older, I feel like that's kind of changing. It can be easy to get really disheartened, say 6 or 7 weeks into trying out a new routine. You really need to stick with the process. What we can all do is start staring at our end goal so much and thinking, right, I'm nowhere near this end goal. And you're looking at this end goal rather than looking at your starting point. So you're here, look back at your starting point. You will be so surprised, even if it was like, if you feel like your body's not changed in the past 2 years, just go back to your camera roll and put that in an album somewhere that you can see, because we all have them days where you're just like, God, am I wasting my time going to the gym? And I've personally been through that phase of like, God, I feel like I've just not made progress. And then I've had time off from lifting and I can see how soft my body goes and how I don't feel strong. I don't feel like I've got as much energy as when I'm weight training, and I prefer my body composition when I'm lifting weights to say just doing, say, walking and Pilates for me personally. And again, that comes down to just learning to be patient with your own body and also just finding what does work for you. Like, I always think it's worth trying out lots of different things because we all store muscle, gain muscle and fat very differently. Like, our distributions are so different and it can be easy to compare. Like, I know there's a big Pilates phase at the moment. I feel like I'm a little bit in my Pilates girl era. Like, I'll do 1 session a week, which I'm quite enjoying, mainly to just work on my deep core and do something a bit slower. I know it's not something that I could see myself doing 5 days a week because I like being able to get strong, have muscle, especially in my glutes, whereas I wouldn't be able to have that just doing Pilates alone. It's just sort of learning your body type. Like, say if you naturally have juicy glutes and all you want is some lean, like, definition, say, then Pilates might be for you. But it's just seeing what works for your body type and what suits your body goals. Like, you don't need to fit into someone else's category. The 4th reason is you're making the process far too hard to realistically maintain and achieve with a busier lifestyle. So what I mean by this is you're setting out these big goals that you can maintain for maybe 3 days in a row, or you'll have 1 week and then the next Monday comes around and you're just like, holy heck, there is no way I can go again. I would be flat out, just not happening, like another week. And I think it's so easy to overestimate what we can do in a week, whereas and underestimate what we can do in 6 months or underestimate what we can do in a year. If you have got a busier lifestyle, I can't recommend more just seeing little cheat codes in your life that you can almost manipulate. So say if one area is you want to work on your fitness, you want to be more active during the day. You know, going to the gym or doing one workout is great, but what does the rest of your day look like? Are you active? If you're sedentary a lot of the time, how can you increase your activity level? So say if your fitness is one area you want to work on, but also you want to be able to be social, which is so important. How can you combine the two? Can you train with a friend? Can you do a new fitness class? Can you go on a walk on a night together? I have started doing this more because I felt like things like my step count was slipping. So say if like a friend or my brother comes over, I'll be like, right, should we go on a walk? And you know, obviously you can catch up that way. And I was even thinking about the other day, so I go to therapy every 2 weeks, and I thought, oh, maybe I could do like a walk-in therapy sesh, get my steps in, because I do find in the winter months when it's obviously getting much darker and it's not always the best to be out late at night in the pitch black walking on your own, and where I live isn't the most lit place, so I'm finding I'm like a bit more rushed in the day. So just making little swaps, like looking at how can I do little life hacks, how can I have my meetings on my walk, and how can I fit in, like multitask a few things to have like a more active and still social life. And then another thing in this category is overtraining. So if you're going to the gym, say 6 days a week, but you kind of feel like if you got honest with yourself and said, are 3 of those sessions, how hard am I actually pushing myself? Like, do I really feel like I'm giving it my all, or are kind of 2 or 3 out of the 6 sessions are a bit half-assed and you kind of like just wanting to get them done as quick as possible, rushing through your sets and reps. And in this case, it could just be trying to overestimate how much you can get done in a week, and you might well be better doing 4, 5 sessions, but you're gonna have a lot more energy than trying to cram in 6 sessions already into a busier lifestyle and just only really pushing yourself in 3 of those, if that makes any sense. Okay, so the 5th one is not trying to maintain the exact same physique all year round. So this one is something I've learned probably over the past 3 years. I feel like I've had phases where I've just wanted to maintain this like lean, shredded look all year round and not really taking into account how much we can change throughout the seasons of life. I think life happens a lot of the time, and it's so natural to fluctuate, to have stressful times of your life. Like recently I've been doing, as you know if you've watched my channel, I've been doing a big, not big, but it has been pretty big, it's been stressful, a renovation, and the final 3 months of the renovation were probably one of the most stressful times of my entire life, and my time, how I spent my time was totally different to like what I've ever experienced before. Just had sort of like a few unforeseen things happen, and I actually came to a place which was really nice in my life where I wasn't trying, I was just accepting that this is just a phase in my life. I know like when my life has got a bit more structure and order and I'm not in the middle of a renovation, it'll be a totally different scenario, which is exactly what phase I'm in right now. And just like not trying to fight something that you can't really change. Like, situations are so temporary. I always generally know in January, I always feel a little bit fluffier because December is usually a time that I'm super social. I'm eating out a lot more, and that is fine. It's all a process. There's always going to be like ups and downs, and it's impossible to have just this the whole time. The final reason is you're not training hard enough. Now, not every single session you want to be going in and doing a HIIT session, but if you're progressively overloading and weight training, you want to make sure you're training with intention with your reps, and you're getting to your last 3 reps, say, and you're finding that really tough, rather than just kind of breezing through. If you're getting to the end of your 10 reps and you're not even slightly fatigued, or you could just go again, you either need to increase your weight, increase your rep range, or add things like holds, add things like negatives. think about your last gym session and how did you feel at the end of that gym session, and compared to a session where you've really given it something and pushed yourself, and just thinking, right, I want to feel like somewhat near that kind of way, like you've really pushed yourself and that you're growing, you're working towards those bigger goals. And of course, there's definitely time and place to have more chill workouts. I'm not saying every session needs to be going to absolute failure, but I do always think change comes from being uncomfortable. Like, you're not going to change if it's just consistently, if you're always lifting the same weight, and if you're not willing to kind of just grow and educate yourself and just get in that uncomfortable zone. They are 6 reasons why you might not be seeing the fitness results that you want to, and I would definitely just overlook things and see how you go with making some little changes here and there. There's nothing worse than when you're putting the time into something and you're really trying, but you're just not seeing the results you feel like you deserve and that you're dedicating your sessions to, which can just be a few little tweaks. The other day I trained with the loveliest person in the gym who just helped me engage my lats more, which is something that I've struggled with for a good while, and I've just not thought to mention it to someone else. All it took was literally 2 seconds of someone saying, oh, just slightly move your elbows this way, try this. I really hope this video has helped you, and let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If there's anything that resonates, I'd love to hear, and if there's anything else I can help you with, just pop it in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. If you could hit this video a like and make sure you subscribed, I would appreciate it so much, and I'll see you in the next video.